Mark there after a bit of a moment coming off the top independent ranking. Unfortunately, his hopes of that end in the gravel trap.
Yep. And Axel, understandably, very frustrated with that.
Well, Garrett Gurasani was looking good. He gets moved out of the way by Razgatlioglu, and here's going to be the moment for him coming off the final turn. And he does get collected.
Entry and...
Van der Mark lifts into the path perhaps of, and that one was less contentious. Axel Bassani's collision there with Michael Van der Mark after already being unsound, but Redding responding quite nicely. Meanwhile, Michael Van der Mark getting through on Razgatlioglu, that's for third.
Former teammates Van der Mark and Toprak Razgatlioglu. You can see how much rain is coming down. You can see how much gravel was left out in the racetrack as well there.
But got it done. Redding up at the front then. Ray in second. The gap now over a second to this fight for third position.
Van der Mark trying to come through in attack,
but can't quite get there as they make their way through the right-hander.
When they come across the line, the one thing is, right now, 1:44.0 was Scott Redding's last lap time. A dry weather lap around here is a Van der Mark to bridge any more of that gap because the pace at the front's really fast.
Fine performance though. Might never see the light of day. Scott Redding out the front of the field. 1:43.648 in these conditions. That's astonishing. Razgatlioglu again.
Attack Toprak though. We saw last time around he was a lot faster in the second half of the lap than Toprak.
Jonathan Ray coming back at Scott Redding. We rejoin the race-leading battle, and Ray has come through on Redding, and here goes Van der Mark on Razgatlioglu, and quietly nobody knows which way to recover that third place.
I said no, everyone's got nothing to lose in this race. That's how they're approaching it as well. Good battling between.
The back down the order. Tom Sykes occupies fifth position. Kota Nazane going to be a career best if he'll a 3-point margin Locatelli at the end of this season, as Van der Mark and Razgatlioglu almost.
But it is only a couple of tenths of a second between himself and Scott Redding.
Yes, new personal best from Razgatlioglu last time around, but still it looks like Van der Mark
manages to get that corner hooked up really well, and obviously we've seen in the dry conditions how strong Toprak is on the brake.
Falls Ray or Redding or both out in front. There's not going to be any change other than these two, whether they'll finish.
Matched him to 100th of a second.
And sticking right with him, less than 2 tenths as they come across the line to start lap number 9. So Van der Mark recovering that third place.
Yeah, Nazane behind us has lost a lot of time last time around. Got picked off by
Gate still with, big slide there for Toprak. He's using the curves in down the road. Here he is on board the number 66. Garrett Gerloff will be the top independent rider, and Garrett Gerloff has recovered 6th place from Kota Nazane, who's consolidated 7th, but is now, as they are, that's Rinaldi gaining back the points that he trailed Andrea Locatelli by coming into this.
Group himself, get himself back into a position to be right on the tail of Jonathan Ray. 3/10 of a second with a lap and a half played. Other than that, it's going to be a move down the inside through this section of the track on the last lap.
For the leaders, by and large, aside from that crash for Axel Bassani, as Michael Ruben Ronaldo. Jonathan Ray may have missed a gear shift there because Redding came powering past in a way that we haven't seen Ducatis do since the beginning of 29.
To try and attack him. There's clearly a lot of grip out there in the asphalt here, even in these wet conditions.
So running towards turn 10, only for the brave that Jonathan Ray might see as his best opportunity to get through on turn. Redding tries to turn. Ray is already there. The pair touch. Ray then sweeps across the path of Scott Redding coming off turn 10 to recover the lead.
Yeah, Jonathan Ray able to make the move into 10. Scott Ray that chance. He's got good drive through there though to get right with Ray.
Scott Redding did leave the door open. It was wide enough for Jonathan Ray. Seen any further information about that, but focus on the lead battle. Redding through on Ray. Has he overcooked it? Yes, he has. To Toprak Razgatlioglu at the end of a run of 6 consecutive seasons, but he is demonstrating just 7 seconds back. Toprak Razgatlioglu over the line for 4th position. Tom Sykes rounds out your top 5, 11 seconds back. Garrett Gerloff with 6th position. Then it's Kota Nazane. He's over the line in the end for 12th position, but most importantly,
across the line to finish off his World SBK career. But at the front of the field, his long-term rival Jonathan Ray picks up another race victory to say after it.
Well, Redding tried his own luck on the final few turns, but Jonathan...
Difference between us, but a podium for Scott Redding on his sign-off from Ducati. And you can see for Toprak, he'll be pretty pleased with the battle he had with Michael Van der Mark all the same.
Toprak Razgatlioglu wins the championship by 13 points, so nobody can say anything about one world title. What shenanigans are going on here? Ray in the Superbike World Championship, and he comes up with 2 race victories out of 2. Yes, not too surprising, is it? Toprak Razgatlioglu is, and Jonathan Ray returns to his old trusty, and that's a nod to Razgatlioglu as much as to anything else.
Next year for Jonathan Ray, and back to basics for Kawasaki as well. They need to start to work towards
a 6-year spell for Jonathan Ray as the world champion.
Yeah, and
the opening round might have left it in some doubt. Assen might have left it in some doubt. Even his crash in Portimao left some.
Makes his way over towards Parc Ferme as well.
I said it to you off air earlier on. If Jonathan Ray Razgatlioglu on 13 wins, so 13 wins, and Jonathan Ray also beats Toprak for podiums because Razgatlioglu finishes down in 4th position. Great sign-off last season, but he's not forgotten by them. thanks to a World SBK legend, and thanks from all of us, and gave him something to think about at times over his spell with that Ducati factory.
Degrees, very humid, so you could understand Scott trying to just get rid of as many layers.
From the rain, of course, an emotional moment for Chaz Davies, no doubt.
Yeah, definitely, and for his team as well, and all the way through. Very fitting that Ray